I just realized the stream can't hear us at all. Hello, stream. I just realized that you guys did not hear any of that because I just said hello to all the captains in the stage, but welcome to the captain's meeting. Draw show will be shortly after, probably around 4:25, 4:30-ish. We're just going to do a quick short run through of the rulebook and certain points that we just want to touch to make sure everybody's on the same page. And then we'll get into the draw show. We'll be going, somebody's asking about the order. We'll be going AML, ADL, AEL for the draw show. But anyways, you can just go down towards penalties. Benja will just start there. The first part of the rulebook is just stuff that you should know if you applied, which is like entry fee, FF deposit, and all that type of stuff. So don't really need to go over it here. Okay, penalties. If you scroll down, Benja, a little bit, there should be a penalties table here. A little bit more. Yeah, right there, penalty table. Try to make this as simple for the user and the players. Some penalties are waivable, meaning the other team can waive it. Some penalties are forgivable, meaning you can use a forgiveness token. Each team has 2 forgiveness tokens, and some aren't. So I'll use an example here. Somebody forgot to change their report their name change, right? You can use a forgiveness token, or the other team can just waive it. It's up to the other team to waive it or not, but either or. Another rule that, for example, you can't waive or forgive is using like illegal support player, illegal jungle player, pretty much just using a player that's not on your roster that you hasn't been approved. That's not waivable and that's not forgivable. It's just common sense stuff. I'll let you guys go through this on your own time, but they all have the references to like the full rule, so you can click and go to wherever it is in the rule book. All right, you can scroll down to account disclosure. So pretty much what account disclosure is, we ask that all players that are playing in Aegis have all their alt accounts alongside their quote-unquote main account linked to Aegis. So as the captains are here, if you're watching on stream, please double check the sheet to make sure all your accounts are there. You are responsible for your accounts to be submitted. You're also responsible to make sure that if your alt name changes, you report it to us. That's a big thing that flies under the radar. And if you are caught, there are penalties and punishments that ensue. So make sure you're just on top of it with your team. A new rule that's being added as well is transferred accounts. If any of your accounts have transferred to NA from a previous region, please let us know. That is something that we ask in the application, but I'm going to reiterate it now. Let us know because certain tools we use to look at LP peaks do not show LP peaks unless you're looking physically at a graph if you have transferred regions. And if it is found out that you are above the LP peak and you did not disclose to us that you transferred regions, you play, it will be considered smurfing. It is your responsibility to let us know. Cool. We can go down to eligibility requirements. Frito or Tom, one of you want to take this?
Pretty good to take this one.
What, for eligibility requirements?
Mm-hmm.
I'm following along with the rule book. I apologize. I got a random DM.
You're good. I'll just cut in there while you pull it up. Yep. Essentially, it's just 150 games across year or split 2024, with 50 of them being in split 3. And then for this split, week 1, you're required to have 10 games on your main. This can be waived for week 1, forgiven for week 1 only if you don't have the 10 games done. But after that, everybody has to have their 10 games. And then for playoffs, everybody needs to have 50 games played. And just make sure it's on the correct account. We have your REA account, which is your registered evaluation account, which is considered your highest peaked account. According to our rulebook, that's considered your main. So just go down a little bit, Benjo, you'll be able to see the REA account rules. I won't go into depth here too much in regards to like what qualifies what account, It's pretty common sense. If you have an account that peaked Masters and then an account that's like low plat and you're playing an AML, you can't be playing your required games on a plat account. It has to be on your highest peaked account. Cool.
I think you summarized it pretty well.
Yeah. I'm just looking at what else is important that we want to touch on. So I'm just scrolling through, and I'll tell Benja where to go. Unless you guys see something as I'm scrolling that's important to touch on. Rank lock, I don't think matters. It's just it's already locked for the draw show. So one thing I will touch, after the draw show concludes today, players are free to climb to their allotted cap in their leagues. So just so people know, after the draw show, you are free to climb if you are rostered. Team logos, don't need to worry about. Sister teams, I'll just mention for sister teams, if you want to scroll down, Benja, yeah. When the draw show is happening, you guys will see that we don't allow sister teams from the same org to be placed in the same group, just conflict of interest issues. We've had teams, sandbag games, so their other team makes it through or something. We just avoid that to the best of our ability. Team lead, that's what you guys are, the captains, or maybe your team lead asks you to attend on behalf of them. Each team is allowed 2 team leads plus their owner, which is also considered the third team lead. Team leads are the people that are our point of contact for the team, where if we have an issue with a team, we will reach out to the team lead. If the team has an issue, we expect the team lead to be reaching out to us, not players, just so that line of communication is simple. There's no middleman. Team leads are also the only people that have access to the roster change form. There's a channel, you will be pinged where the roster change form is. All roster changes moving forward will have to be done via the form. Do not share that with anybody on your team. If somebody on your team submits that form and their Discord is saying that they're the one submitting it, it's just going to be denied. We only want the team leads to be permitted to submit roster changes, just so everything is above board in terms of who's on the roster and who's not. And if you're a team owner here, make sure you understand that if you're allocating somebody on your team to be a team lead, they can change your roster. So if you don't trust them, don't let them be a team lead. Pretty straightforward. We can go down to.
I think one.
Go ahead.
I was about to say, I think I might be skipping far ahead. Oh no, we're getting about close to we're about where I'm looking at, but I think just one important thing to bring up, if we get down to 3-4.
That's good. That's what I was
is agreements. Hey, look, we were on the same page.
So pretty much, I'll just touch on it real quick. We've already described in the penalty table what is waivable. If it's not on the table there, teams can't decide that, hey, let's do this. For example, if a champion is disabled because it's out within the first 2 weeks of the patch, and we say you can't use it, both teams can't just be like, hey, let's use it. That's not how that works. There's no gentleman agreement. Anything that's considered waivable by the other team is listed. So just follow the rule book. Just try to keep it fair to all the teams. Anything to add there, Creator, or was that pretty much it?
No, that was. I think I was about to say. I think that's the next.
Cool. I don't think we have any holidays that we're gonna have.
Big point to touch on.
Maybe May. I don't know if we could get to May. No, leagues will be done
probably
before
not.
May.
Yeah.
It's just 10 weeks from this week, so cool.
Yep.
Let's go down to roster additions. I think that's important to touch on. If one of you want to take it.
I'll take it. So yeah, roster additions is the team lead's job, as stated before. It's going to be below the help desk channel, or in the help desk category. So that's where you find that roster change ESUB form. All roster additions have to be in accordance with the rulebook. So like you said before, 150 games in 2024, with 50 being in 2024-3, and then a 10-game requirement for 2025-1. Rank requirements for each league. I'm not going to go into detail on that one. You can look at the rule book. So in accordance with like someone from another team being dropped and being added to a different roster, there is a cooldown, I believe, a 1 week cooldown. So if they played on, let's say we're in ADL, so if they played on that Monday and they're dropped, I don't think they can play the next week. They have to be added the week after. If I'm
Correct. It's 7 days from their last game played.
Mhm.
And that's last game played, meaning like if they're just a sub and they haven't played, this rule does not apply to them. They can just be dropped and added to another roster. I will say if we see two teams dropping players and swapping back and forth, we're not going to allow that. It's once you leave a team and join the other team, we're not going to let you go back to that first team. It's it's not like an own loan situation. Send a player here and send him back.
And that goes for sister teams as well, I believe.
Correct.
So the FRA. So if you look on the roster, or not the roster sheets, the Google Sheets for the official sheets, sorry. In the top right corner of your roster, you'll see an FRA remains. There's a number that right now this number is how many spots you have left in your roster. So if you only have 5 players, you have 5 FRAs. If you have 9 players, so 5 players, 4 subs, you have 1 FRA. If that number is greater than 0, you are allowed 2 roster additions per week. But if that number is 0, so that means your whole roster is full, that means you're only allowed 1 roster addition per week. You're allowed to drop as many players as you want, but you must have 5 starter players in your roster. So keep that in mind. FRAs can be returned if someone peaks above the cap, so that goes for AEL only, I believe.
Yes, only for AEL. If they rank out, you'll get your FRA restored. But besides that, your FRA will not go up. The point of this is once you've rostered 10 unique players on your roster, you're only allowed 1 roster addition a week. And I'll clarify, we say roster addition, meaning a new player getting added to your roster. If you want to move people around, that doesn't affect your FRAs at all.
Yep.
Cool. Roster lock, if you want to scroll down, Benja, a little bit. Roster lock is 24 hours before your match every week. So ADL will be Sunday, AML will be Monday, AEL will be Wednesday at 8 p.m. EST. Roster freeze, we'll update it here shortly, but it's the second to last week before playoffs. It'll also be on the schedule of the official sheet. It'll be like roster freeze this day at roster freeze. Once that hits, no more additions for the rest of the season. A week before playoffs. Yep. Roster drop. Just if you want to drop somebody, you can drop them. If the player wants to drop, they can request to get dropped themselves. No problem. Name changes. If you scroll down a little bit, Benja, there is a separate form. I'll wait for Benja to scroll down. Yeah, there's a separate form in all the information channels of the server, as well as on the front cover sheet of all the official sheets, that says name change and alt disclosure form. Anybody can submit that. So if you change your name, your account name, or your alt account name, or you have a new alt you want to disclose, you can submit that yourself. Your team lead does not have to. Team leads only have to do roster additions. So if you want to help your team lead out and you change your name, make sure to submit it, and it'll be posted in the roster change channel for us to approve and update.
Yep.
Cool. We can scroll down to the solo queue mandate. I will just preface here, solo queue mandate does not apply to AML. It is only for AEL and AEL. It's 10 games in the last 21 days, 10 games in the last 16 days, depending on your current rank of your account. It's pretty much straightforward. And then once you rank out, meaning if in ADL, if you pass 100 LPA, that means you're ranked out, you're not going to be able to play next split, the solo queue mandate no longer applies to you. The mandate's there to have people play games and discourage any potential elo sitting. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. There is a script on the sheet that will mark how many games are left. I would say about 100, not 100, 97% of the time it's accurate. I would say where it's not accurate is if you go to op.gg and you don't actually press like the update button. Sometimes the game count might be off a little bit. But we do ask that teams are responsible to check themselves. Updated accordingly. Cool. I will say, if you don't have the solo queue mandate done, one of your players, It is waivable. The other team can waive it, and it is forgivable. You have two forgiveness tokens. But if you use your 2 tokens and the other team does not want to waive it, the player is not eligible. It's not a ban loss. I know some leagues have a ban loss. The mandate's not done. The player cannot play. So make sure you're on top of it. Disable champions, pretty straightforward. If you scroll down, it's just champions disabled. We'll ping you guys saying champions disabled till when. Same with it's for new/rework champions and or any bugged champions. Rescheduling. We're pretty flexible in allowing rescheduling. We allow till the last day of the group stage for people to reschedule. I will say one thing we eliminated from last split to this split is there is no more TBD rescheduling. Across all of our leagues last split, I think we had like 46 reschedules that were TBD, and that we do not want. It is a logistical nightmare if teams do not know when they're playing, and then us having to track down teams, and then, oh, we can't play anymore because we're eligible for playoffs, so we don't want to play. Just weird scenarios happen. So we just are removing TBD entirely. You have to have a date and time set before you submit a reschedule request to us. I will say, if you have a date and time set for a reschedule, you can also reschedule that time if both teams agree. So that's just something to keep in mind. In playoffs and qualifiers matches that result in elimination, you can only reschedule 3 days before the next set of matches. So next default day of matches. So that's pretty straightforward. Cool. I will say, let's go down to match procedure for eSubs. eSubs form, it's on the roster change form for team leads to submit. If you need an emergency substitute, that's not on your roster on game day. That's within 24 hours of your match. They have to fill out this form. We will check them, and if they get approved, they will be permitted to be used with a ban loss. If you scroll down a little bit more, Benja, they'll be able to see the ban losses down there. I'm not going to read through it all. It's pretty straightforward for if there's 1 or 2 eSubs, if it's before roster lock, etc. Teams are allotted 5 eSubs a season, so keep that in mind. Past that limit, you will not be allowed to eSubs. In playoff, ban loss is higher. And I will also mention the solo queue mandate applies to eSubs for ADL and AEL. So if your eSub does not have those 10 games in the last 21 days or 10 games in the last 16 days, they cannot be used. You cannot use a token for eSubs. We consider eSubs to be under a little bit more scrutiny because we have less time to vet the accounts. So just going to point that out there. It's not like a clear cut, this player looks eligible. We most likely will deny them. Cool. Side determination. Game 1, it's on the sheet. After that, game 2 and 3, the loser picks. In playoffs, the higher seed will have to announce what side they would like 24 hours before. All that stuff will be pinged for the team leads to decide. The tournament chat of the specific leagues. Tournament codes. Tournament codes will be posted in the team leads channel every day at game day. We have a bot that posts them. So around 6 p.m. ET or 5 p.m. ET. I don't really know which time. It's one of the two. It depends on whether we're in daylight savings or not daylight savings. Google bots, I know. So by 6 p.m., if it's not there, you can start asking questions, but it's usually like right on the dot, the bot starts posting it. So in the event, codes are not available because Riot's a small indie company. Here are the setup lobby settings for you to use. Match results form. On the cover sheet of all the official sheets, there is a match results form. Anybody on the team can fill that out. Once you fill that out, the results will be posted. The match results channel. VCs, all teams will have VCs, roles. Every team will have a voice chat and a text chat for them to use. You are required to be in your voice chat during your official games. only 5 players can be in the voice chat when the game starts. During draft, you can have as many as you'd like, but once the game starts, only the players can be there. It's pretty straightforward stuff. I'm just going through the motions. Draft tools, you can use whatever you'd like. We recommend drafter.lol because draft law has been inconsistent, but if you still want to use draft law, you are more than welcome to. One thing I will ask, it's not required. When submitting these draft links, please take a screenshot of the draft and submit that, opposed to the physical draft link itself. Some of these sites just go down for a week, and the drafts you just can't see the drafts when you're doing scouting. So if it's a screenshot, it's helpful. It's not required, but if you're able to, we ask for the screenshots. AML, full fearless, pretty straightforward. I will say, I think, yeah, we've changed it this split where games 4 and 5 of best of 5 will now have full bans. Last split it was 3 bans and no bans. This is full bans for all 5 games. Just moving with how tier 1 moves. Ready check. If you just say you're ready when you're ready for draft, you're ready for the game. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward stuff. We can go down 5.5 timeliness. This is just if you're late. I'm pretty sure if somebody's late, they'll just control F the rulebook and figure this out. This is waivable and it's enforceable only if the other team wishes to enforce it. But yeah, I will say if a team submits an e-sub at like 5, like let's say the game starts at 8, they submit it at 8:07. The clock will stop. We will vet the account. We will approve it because the e-sub penalty is larger than the tardiness penalty of 1 ban. The e-sub penalty will apply. Straightforward stuff. Pause time, which is technical difficulties, section 5.8. Did somebody have something to add?
Nah.
Sorry, I'm just breezing through this because I want to get to the draw show.
Yeah.
I know that's what everybody's waiting for.
Yeah.
Everyone's here for the interesting stuff, Ivar.
Yeah. Every team has 20 minutes per a match, 15 per a game. So match is a series, game is 1 game of the series. So playoffs, that time goes up. Yeah. Drafting mistakes. If you forget to pick a champion or something breaks, just remake draft to that point or type it in chat. Everybody plays scrims. Everybody knows how this works. I'm not gonna go into it. Discretional disallowed skins. We have a list of skins that are disallowed that teams can request to remake the game. So just be wary when they're using the skin. There's no ban loss for using it. It's just if the other team asks you not to use it, you can't. There's some visual issues for colorblind mode with some of these skins, so we just try to make sure it's on the same page. Role restrictions. This is the big one. I'll just touch on. We just kind of moved it away from like, hey, top has to go top and so on. The only thing is the jungler has to go jungle. Everybody else is kind of in their roles, but they can go where they want on the map. In prior seasons, we've had like, oh, you can't leave till 2 minutes 30 seconds or something. But with the current meta, it's like, I'm sure Krito and Tom can attest to this. There's so much lane swaps going on. Support's leaving on like 3rd wave or 2nd wave at level 2 to go help whatever's going on the map, especially the higher up we go in ADL and AML. So we're just trying not to limit players. So just something to mention. Why no double jungle? Because I don't think double jungle is a viable thing that we want in our league. I'll just say that. If you're taking 2 smites, it should be a spellbook smite. That's all I'm saying. Cool. All chat, be respectful. Don't expect you to be on the same terms as the other team when bantering. If you know them and you want to banter, do it at your own risks, but don't cross any lines. We just ask that if the other team says, hey, tells us and we tell you to stop all chatting or bantering, we expect you to stop. Very straightforward. Not viable yet. Okay. Pauses. If you're in a fight and a pause happens, don't. If you want us to review it, have us review it. Then don't wait till the end of the game and say, "Oh, there was an illegal pause." Because if you wait till the end of the game and come to us, we're not doing anything about it. I'm just going to be straight honest. We have an admin, I would say 99% of the time, in help desk during the default game times. So something comes up, just pop in, say, "Hey, we're paused. This is what happened." We'll take a look. If it's like, "Oh, this person's clearly going to die," we'll say, "When you unpause, this person has to die, and move on your way and get the game finished." If we see this happening to the same team on repeats, there'll be more penalties, but pretty logical stuff. If there's any fighting on the map, don't pause. Cool. Bug remakes, bug exploits. I'll let you guys read this. Pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Player conduct, sportsmanship and conduct. Don't need to get into that. Riot suspension. This is a big one. Some recent stuff in other leagues has. I'm just going to mention it here. We changed our rules. The rulebook came out like 2 months ago, or a month and a half ago. You are required to play on your REA account. Previously, we let you use any of your alt accounts. Moving forward, you are required to play on your REA account. Some players have requested to use a different account because their REA account, which is an alternate account, is a higher rank. Those people will be granted permission and it'll be marked on the sheet. If you look at the sheet, there's a color legend on the top left in the roster tab, and it'll say can play on alts. If you want that to happen to you, you can let us know. But besides that, you have to play on your main account. If your main account is banned, don't log on to an alt account and play. There will be penalties. Come to us when you're banned with your main account. If it's a 14-day ban, if you're able to show us what it was, if we don't consider it egregious, we may permit you to play on your alt account. If you get permabanned, it's likely GG's. Good luck. They have to get a replacement player. But yeah, just straightforward stuff. Account sharing. Don't share your account. Yep. Just gonna keep it moving. Streaming. You are allowed to stream. We ask that you have to have a delay. It is not required. If you don't have a delay and a team is stream sniping you, well, we frown upon it. That's your fault. Have a delay. We're not going to do anything about it. And as I scroll through the rest, I don't think there's anything else. I will leave the floor open for questions from anybody in the chat and or stage. Give it a minute or two.
Just one thing I will mention, and this is just kind of an open bit of conversation while questions flood in. If y'all hear something from your team, something don't seem right, kind of mentioning 613, it's better that y'all just bring it up to us.
Oh, yeah.
There ain't going to be any kind of penalty if you find out your teammate has a secret diamond account and they're bragging about it, and you're like, oh well, I don't want to get in trouble. Bring it to us. We want to encourage that kind of. We want to encourage you to bring these things forward rather than hide them away.
Yep. I will say a lot of the time we don't even mention who brings it to us. We just say a person brings it to us. So let's do the right thing. We're not here. We're here to have fun, create an outlet for people to play with their friends, have something to do outside of any IRL stuff that's going on. So don't ruin the experience for other people. That's about it. Okay, I don't see any straight questions in Twitch chat. Let me look at the stage.
Someone's typing.
Okay. I'll let this person type out. When can you? At the conclusion of the draw show, the caps are. Everybody can climb to what they are allowed to climb to. AML and ADL don't have a limit.
Infinite.
And AEL, I believe it's D199 LP. I'm not sure. I'll double check, but check the rule book. Okay, one other person is typing a question. Can you confirm or deny allegations that you rigged the draw show?
I rigged them against you, Lester.
There you go. I don't rig the draw show. Well, it depends. Will you be in the Void group for the 19th time, Lesser? All right. With that said, you know how soon after the draw show? Schedules will be out. We're gonna hope to get ADL tonight because ADL plays Monday. I will say for sure everything will be out by Sunday night. But yeah, pretty much. Roles will be also done by Sunday night for players and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We're going to cut it to a quick break while we get set up for the draw show. We'll be starting with AML, then ADL, then AEL. And yeah, we'll be right back.
Every time I close my eyes, a little less of you remains. I know you're slipping further from me now. Am I too far away?
Hello, everybody. We are not back, but we are back. We're starting the draw show. My name is Ivar. I have Tom and Crater with me again. For AML, we'll be joined by Lesser, who is coach of one of the teams competing in AML. If you want to say hello.
Hello.
Okay. And we have Jack, who is going to be joining us for the draw show. Jack is going to be joining the production crew actually here for AML. They're going to be our color caster. If you want to say hello.
Yes, hello. I'm very happy to be here. Very excited for the draw.
Awesome. Cool. So, going to quickly, before we start this, we have one small announcement from a sponsor, something new that we're going to be doing here at Aegis. You know how we have our finals MVP that we award at the end of every season. We are partnering with a company called Zen Market. They're a Japanese-based company that does kind of like Japan's eBay in a way, or Japan's Amazon. But we have physical prizes this split for the finals MVP of each league. So we'll start with the AML graphic here.
Oh, wow.
So this is the prizing for the AML MVP. They will get everything on the screen pretty much sent to them from Zen Market. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's awesome stuff. We've been working with Zen Market for about a year and a half. Not a year and a half, half a year. And been great partners on the FGC side. We're going to bring them over to League of Legends, see how the reaction from the community is. So awesome to have them on board. You can go to the ADL one as well. This is the awards for ADL. And then we can go to AEL as well. And these are the pricing for AEL. These are for the MVPs. We'll have more announcements of it in the Discord server, but we wanted to quickly just drop this little announcement here for everybody in chat and from Zen Market. All right, cool.
Yeah. Can I make one comment?
Yes.
If no one wants these, I'm free to take them off your hands.
We
might not like One Piece. I'll take anything off your hands.
We are, we work so hard.
Yeah.
Love to hear it. All right, We can get into the draw show. I'm going to quickly touch on how the draw show will work. If you can pull up the graphic, Benja. Okay, cool. So there's one conference, 3 groups. So pretty much when we draw this, there'll be one tier that has 2 teams, and then 4 tiers that have 4 teams. The tiers that have 4 teams will be, when we draw them, it'll be the first team drawn going into Shurima, the second team drawn going into Ionia, third team drawn going into Void, 4th team draw going into Ionia. So it'd be like 1, 3, 2, 4, essentially. You'll see it as it progresses, but we're going to start with our 2 tier 4.5 teams. They will only be going into Streamer or Void. So if you want to pull up that wheel, Benja. And spin away.
Oh.
The first team going into the Shurima group will be the Hextech Hackers here. A newer team to Aegis, I believe. Any insight, guys?
This is the only team in the AML with diamond players in their starting roster. Skreliku, I should probably stop right now saying names that I do not know how to pronounce, and Kittle KitKat are both diamond, but their OPs are pretty impressive when it comes to champion diversity and level of play on those champions. So I'm excited to see how they compete in this first division.
Yeah, definitely the diversity will be good for Fearless, for sure. Anything else to add, or should we move to the other team? What?
Oh, I was about to say, I respect a hater, and I like their jungle's name and their energy. That's all I have to say.
Awesome.
Yes, Dota 2 is better. Is quite better spelt incorrectly. Is quite. I'm gonna be looking to see what they're capable of.
I actually know a lot of people that have come over from Dota and even like Overwatch to League that have been performing pretty well. So, be interested to see. But yeah, we could spin the wheel just for prosperity's sake. For
I can't put your bets in now to see who it's gonna be.
2,000 on Hextech hackers.
2,000 next. The next team will be AFK, a Forgotten Kingdom. I believe they played in Aegis quite a bit in ADL.
I believe both.
Both ADL and AML. I believe they're also playing in. They played in Risen. They've played in. They're playing in Titan now. I don't know if it's in Vanquisher or Immortal there, but definitely an org that's been around for a while, and they will be joining the Void group.
Yeah, the number of games played by their solo laners, especially their top laner, Silly Boy Joe, very impressive. And a lot of, I don't want to be giving away strategies, but this is solo queue, it's public. A ton of bottom lane Victor played by Lyrid. So I'm excited to see if that is something that is being prepared because of Fearless, or if that's just a comfort thing.
Love us some Victor picks, especially in the bot lane. We love AP bot laners here, especially with this meta. But anything else to add, or we can actually pull up the
group.
I'm happy that teams that may not have, the highest ranked players are still getting a chance to compete. You never know what happens, especially in these Fearless games. Teams might not have high ranks, but you have a couple really comfortable picks people aren't used to playing against. You can take a lot of games off of really good teams.
Yeah,
that's
for
true.
sure.
We've seen some surprises in the past. Hopefully, you see some more in this season.
Okay, cool. Well, with that said, we have our tier 4.5 teams done. We will pull up our tier 4 teams. Okay, tier 4 teams are Gravity Nebula, Boomers over Zoomers, Ring Chillers Masters, and Travelers. First team here, Travelers, will be going into the Shurima group. Travelers been playing in AML for 4 splits now, I think. They won 2 splits ago. Going back with a little bit of a different revamped roster here. We have YouTube, who just recently, I believe, won ADL, moving up to AML. So it'll be awesome to see how they perform.
And I believe, yeah.
I was going to say, it's very cool to see that level of promotion coming through, advancing up into a higher league. And speaking of YouTube, they are on a 10-game win streak in solo queue right now, going absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I believe their original mid laner, TSM Burger King, he is on a different roster.
Yes, I believe so too. I think Travelers won with Burger King.
Yeah,
Burger King Light. Can't remember the rest of the roster, but they won 3 splits ago.
2 splits, yeah.
It was Fizzy and Meeps.
Fizzy Meeps, yeah.
Yeah.
The Fiora player top as well, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I like seeing players that are really getting ready, and people can now climb even higher, but their top laner and their AD are getting a ton of games in. So I like seeing that in preparation. Games start Tuesday, so you want to be ready.
Definitely. But we can move on to the next team here. This team will be going into the Ionia group. So you can go ahead and spin the wheel.
Let's trash ban that does last player.
This is going to be Bing Chillers Masters. I think they're going to have a name change, maybe. I'm not sure, but Bing Chillers, a returning org here. We have some of that winning ADL roster on this roster, and they're also joined by AML. I don't want to say veteran, but he's been around for a while in the master scene. Rapid Fire here on the ADCs.
Incredible name if you're a bottom laner.
Yeah. Former Omega Gaming alumni right there.
I believe he was a Dorado player as well.
Yeah, I mean,
he's been passed around.
Passed around. Wow, that's crazy. Whoa.
That's way to put it.
Nah, he's definitely played for a bunch of works. He's definitely been around for a long time. I think when he was playing for me, like in 2022, I think he was just like mid-plat. I don't think Emerald was around then. He had just like hitting D4, so it's nice to see him climb up and playing in these higher leagues.
Players who are passed around without wins are just sad examples of players who will never succeed.
Oh, damn.
That is crazy. Okay.
Damn.
I love this night, having a coach of one of the teams in the draw. Just like, what do you think? Last year was like every team is trash. I just want to see where we are.
Not every team. He just gives me Jerry X vibes that he's not going to have much success.
Oh, God.
Jeez.
Jerry's in chat. Jerry's in chat.
Oh, I know he's in chat.
Okay, we could draw
Listen, we need the content, Ivar, and this is content. I'm here for it.
Yeah. It's spin the wheel.
Oh,
Jerry's not happy.
This is going into the Void group here. It's going to be Boomers over Zoomers. They have one of my favorite logos. You guys will see here in a second.
This is the team that's my favorite to win instantly. I don't care about anyone else. That logo is S tier.
Yeah, I think, only having as much knowledge as just the op.gg's right away, I can tell that this team means business. That logo alone sets himself apart. I mean, you don't even know where to start. And their top laners played like 1 billion games.
Yep. I mean, Overrate's been around for a while. I think he played on Oversoul. No.
Oversoul, yeah.
Yeah, Oversoul. And then also, their can't remember who. Pulling up the roster. Ben just switched before I saw the name. One sec. Zoomers.
Shamarcus, Gritty, TV General.
Their mid laner.
TV General.
Black Lord. Yeah. He's been around for quite a bit. And then Rixalis, I believe, played in one of my leagues in 2019. So he's been around for a long time. So
one of the Boomers.
Awesome. Cool.
Some of these win rates are really impressive. Boy, Ben at the top laner, 37 games on Gnar with a 59% win rate. 30 on Akali, 57% win rate.
Yeah, definitely. But with that, the last team, Gravity Nebula, from the tier 4, will be joining King Chillers in the Ionia group here. This is a returning org. I believe it's a different roster than last split, but they've been playing every split. They've been a solid middle of the pack team. Also another org that also fills a ACL roster every split, Gravity.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely awesome org to have around Aegis here.
Mm-hmm. I don't really recognize any of their players, so can't really comment.
Great org to have around, but they don't win a lot. I'll be honest.
I was going to say on the positive end, healthy organizations like this keep, organizations like this afloat when you have that steady presence of an org in multiple leagues. You're always happy to keep them around and kind of like in the background root for them to see some more success.
Yeah, free donations to the prize pool.
Yeah, they are just a donation to the prize pool, and I do appreciate that every year putting in $150 to Aegis. They know they're not getting that money back, but they keep doing it.
You never know. This could be the year. This could be the year.
You know what? I hope for their sake it is.
If Boomers over Zoomers wasn't here, I would be rooting for Gravity as the resident challenger admin.
Yep, Gravity. Cool. All right, we can move on to our tier 3 teams here, which will be Contingent Esports Blue, Status Gaming Resurgent, Novosphere Gaming Omega Zin, and All In 27. And this team will be going into the Shurima group. Novosphere Gaming Omega Zin. It's a long name.
Long name, yeah.
Yeah.
Stro, Dino, some people that have moved up from ADL, I believe, that have been playing in AML for a little bit.
Think so?
Yeah. I think they played under just Omega last split, like Novosphere Gaming Omega. They added the Zin, but you see the chat going crazy for Stro. He's definitely a fan favorite here, who's moved up a little bit into ML to take their stab here.
I love seeing that progression. Keep climbing up into the higher and higher leagues.
Definitely.
Progression is very nice. It just does suck that he is playing on a Novosphere roster, which it historically is just an organization that does not like to win too. I'd like to see him on like a Lane Zero roster, like a Travelers roster, but on a Novosphere roster, I do not have much hope for him.
I love Novosphere. They've actually won some of my leagues in the past. Just recently, this is I think their first year and a half back. They took like a 2-year break, so they're still getting their footing. But I believe Gizmo is the one who runs the org, owner of the org. He's been good friend of mine for quite some time, so always love to have them play again in Aegis.
I like Gizmo.
Gizmo's good people. But anyways, we can spin the wheel now for the next team going into the Ionia group. Contingent Esports Blue going into the Ionia group here. I believe this is their coach is blanking on the name. Starts with a D.
Coach is Draysen.
Yeah, yep.
Oh,
That
yeah,
sounds
he's
correct.
teammate.
Yeah, I believe he's from Tenebris, an org that I don't think is around anymore, but been around for a while. And I know some of these players on this roster are part of a collegiate roster for UCF. So
Well,
gonna see how that core translates over to a tier 3 competition.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that translates over. This is some of the most impressive players I saw in the tier 2 rosters. Their top laner, very long name. Every time I look, I'm like, I'm going to say it this, and I look.
Cam Bam, Slam Bam.
And his games are very impressive, and the most impressive OP I've seen. I can't even begin to attempt to say the name.
Yeah,
I don't even know which nation's characters that belongs to. Korean. Okay.
Yeah.
His win rates are incredible. Like 20 plus games, all above 50. Like,
yeah. I think he's also spamming the game. I think he has like almost 300 games this split already.
Yeah, he's incredible. And like, I as someone who loves not only esports but traditional sports, hearing that this is part of the UCF roster, I want to see how the Knights perform. See, maybe I would love it if one of these teams had their collegiate branding. So you have all these random teams like Boomer versus Zoomer and Big Chilling, and then it's like, and the UCF Knights.
Yeah, I mean, in ADL we have some collegiate teams. I know when ACL comes around, we definitely have a lot more college rosters, spinning rosters, like branded under their university. So we do get it split to split. So
I'm here to be a hater. Always happy to see my local Florida residents, but as a USF graduate, I have to be a hater.
That makes sense. The Bulls and the Knights constantly going at it.
But nonetheless, we can go back and spin the wheel for the next team going into the Void group.
Jerry X.
Oh, Jerry.
Jerry's up. Jerry and the Sigma boys.
And Marconi.
Yeah, so this roster I'm actually excited for. This is part of the core is part of the old I don't want to say Ember Wars. Art of War. I think they were on Ember Wolves at 1.2.
Yeah, the 3 Sigmas in Marcote.
Yeah, they've been playing together for a while. Definitely a strong roster here. I mean, their solo cube ranks over the last 3 splits have kind of made them be a little bit of a lower tier team, but definitely a dark horse here into the Void group.
Yeah, look a lot at Sigma Boy and his relationship with Sigma Boy, how long Sigma Boy's been playing with Sigma Boy, and I just think there's a lot of camaraderie built up, and from what I've heard so far, it seems like Jerry X is going to be the glue that brings this team together. I think that.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that one.
I don't know. As this is my first introduction to this entire league, I can tell you right now, I'm gonna have a lot of eyes on Jerry X, Marcotte, and the Sigma boys.
You think we're gonna get a B1 Viego pick? Any thoughts?
It's less than 50% win rate so far this year, so I hope not.
Jerry X has been jailed on this team. He has gone from one of the best carry jungles in the league to I am forced to play Wukong and Xin Zhao every game. Please
Jerry,
get this man on a good roster.
Play more of the Diana. It just got buffed. Play more of it.
Give Jerry X a good roster, please.
All right. Well, the last team, all in 27 from the tier 3 teams, will be going into the Ionia group here. Let me put this in here.
I like this logo.
I love the logo. I love the names. I'm pretty sure I used to play a lot more poker. I'm pretty sure like 2-7 is one of the worst hands.
It is the worst hand.
Yeah.
2-7 off.
I love this logo. I used to, but I have not cast since 2022, and I used to get a little I don't want to add any negative descriptor, but it would kind of bum me out when people would put other team like abbreviations in their name. Like, I would like to see them have their own team, but Gumayuki and Kun are 2 of the coolest names I've seen so far. Oh, I'm seeing in the chat that they've benched Gumayuki. Maybe Smush is gonna come in instead.
Oh, this is news
I
to
like
me.
that one. I like that one. I like that one. Smash is the T1 player right now for.
Yeah. I mean, he's performing well.
He's very well.
Looking.
And Chad is saying apparently this is still pronounced Gumayuchi.
Yeah, in Chinese it's pronounced Chi, the QI.
Ah.
But it is Korean, so I don't know if it's different for the Korean language, but.
I don't know, I'm gonna say I just hope no trucks come out. No all-in trucks coming out.
Yeah. But awesome. They'll be in the Ionia group here. Cool. And while we set up, I guess I'll let Ben just show the tiers, and while he sets up tier 2, how do you guys think these groups are shaping out?
I mean, so far I think I was hoping that Ionia would really show out as, you know, having the most teams, the most variety, and I'm happy so far with where a lot of these teams have placed. I think that you've got a lot of variety in terms of, like, actually some pretty solid teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
feel like Void is like the hardest group right now, based on all the teams that have been drawn in.
Yeah, and when Leicester's put in there, it'll be just as hard, right?
We will beat them all.
But anyways, we can start with our tier 2 groups here. If you have the wheel ready, Benja, you can go ahead and spin them. We'll have High Alert Eclipse, the Agency, Emberwolves, and Lane Zero Blizzard.
Timberwolves.
Emberwolves, I believe they are going into the Shurima group here. I believe the only returning member on this roster is Nostalgia, and maybe their top laner. Maybe Lesser might be able to confirm or deny that.
Nair was their top laner for last season.
Okay.
You know, I'm worried about Little Uzi Vert. He hasn't put out a good album in quite some time. Also, as I was just setting up a joke as I pulled up the op.gg. First, I don't know if people take offense when people say this, but the first one trick I've seen, 171 Volibear games.
On who?
This season?
On Lil Uzi Vert.
Oh yeah, he has 171 this season on Volibear. That is accurate.
That is.
How are we playing 171 games in this season alone?
I mean, he has 191 actually, but
even worse.
They're worse. Don't worry.
And it's a lot. I like seeing more variety on the other roles. A lot of Talia and Hui coming up from mid, and a lot of Lucian. But this, I mean, as long as they're winning, this is in a tier 2 team, so you know, I'm not going to apply too many negative thoughts to it yet. But I wonder what happens when Volibear gets banned. I
feel like I would be remiss if I didn't give a similar criticism that I gave the other week to a different team. If you have a one trick on your team in a Fearless League, as a coach, I am crying in a corner. I don't know what to do, and I'm scared.
Yeah, especially full Fearless. If it's a good champion, because you don't even have to bet, you could just pick it.
Yep.
And then it's like, what do they do?
Yep. But nonetheless, Emberwolves did win. Actually, I don't know if they won. I think they made it to finals.
They were the fraud finalists after Winnipeg Wombats were bye-byed.
Yeah.
Didn't they make it farther the season before?
Yeah, I think they made it farther this season before. Regardless, they've been around for 3-4 splits now. They have the different Ember, not Wolves, different Ember roster that plays in ACL and OQ. So
Ember Phoenix, I thought.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, glad to have them back. We can go to the wheel and see what team is going to be going into the Ionia group.
Ember Fox is the team.
Ember Foxes, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That.
Lane Zero Blizzard, our good friend alive here.
Never saw my goat.
This roster's scary. Never saw Verticality together. That's all I'm going to say.
Never saw her lapdog.
This
really
is
impressive win rates.
Yeah, this is a really strong roster. Their sub roster as well is really strong. I have high hopes for this roster, and Live is definitely smart in terms of game knowledge. So I'm hoping he's going to be able to steer them in the right direction for this AML split. Is this the same Lane Zero roster playing in Titan, or is it a different Lane Zero?
The exact same Lane Zero roster that just dropped a game to Rubber Ducky Gaming, that For Fun roster.
Oh.
Got it.
Seeing Hasm has 8 champions with more than 9 games, so he's already well prepared for Fearless, trying to get a good base of champs. Doesn't want to ever get in a position where he doesn't have something to play. Same with their verticality, their ADC.
Is this the first split Hazem's not playing on Dorado?
Probably.
No.
I think
I've
so.
only seen them in Dorado.
I've only
Is
seen
there a
them on,
Dorado team this year?
not in AML, no.
Oh my.
That's a
Not in
first.
Zol didn't want to lose to me again. Wow.
That's crazy. Wait, weren't you first round knockout last split?
To Zol? No.
Anyways. Not his old, but somebody else. Well, anyways,
It was Dorado Gaming Yamma. We lost 3-2.
On Aegis? That one doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
Titan counts, right?
Yeah, we beat them in Titan. That's all that matters.
Okay.
Anyways, we can go back to the wheel and spin it up for the team going into the Void group. High alert Clips is my guess. Yep.
Yeah.
New org. Newer org to Aegis, not a new org. They've been around. A friend I've made over at Low Budget LCS, Bears. He's the one who's running this roster. But this is, I believe that it's EMAD in the mid lane. I think they used to play for, what's the org? Lit Esports at one point.
Oh, Lit Esports.
That's a.
So this is a bad team then.
That's a.
No. That player did, not this team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This team
As
is completely different. Yeah.
As a resident Chovy hater, you chose the wrong mid laner to name yourself after.
So actually, I think his alt is French caps, and then this is Chovy.
French Cap and then Korean genetic.
Yeah.
My opinion stands.
French caps. But yeah, I'm excited to see how they do. Newer roster to Aegis, but not a newer org to competitive. I believe they also have an ADL team, so they are
Yeah, they do.
slotted into the potential quote-unquote group of death here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Cool. We can go ahead and we don't have to actually spin the last wheel. The last team from here is going to be the agency.
Love
Going
logo.
into Ionia group. I think they've played in ACL at one point, but
Mhm.
definitely some people we know, Alstair and Dunzi, they've been around for a while playing in comp.
Broken SSB is one of the most impressive players I've looked at in terms of OP.GG. So many games, so much variety. Every single one of his champs on recently played, he's got over 10 games in. God, this guy's played over 300 games already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these people are grinders, so I
mean,
definitely,
that's these high tiers.
yep, definitely.
These no lives. Only league.
But yeah, I believe they're playing. I don't know if it's the same roster, but this org is playing in Titan Vanquisher. So I'm not sure if they're just using the same name because I'm pretty confident this roster is not eligible for Vanquisher. But
I'd hope.
yeah, cool. Glad to have them in the Ionia group, and we can take a look quickly at the groups, and then we can.
Oh yeah, it's a completely different roster.
Okay, cool. But same name, right? I'm not crazy.
Yeah, the agency.
Okay. Agency CIA is in Vanquisher, different rosters. Thank you, Dunzi.
Also, great logo. Could always point that out.
Love the love.
Now it's time.
Okay.
Yeah, tier one. The tier one teams. We have Akuma Pizza Cutters, Drop Dead Gaming, Rubber Ducky Gaming, and Dizzy's P5s. And the first team going into the streamer group is Dizzy's P5s.
It's just Phantom 5, but it's Dizzy's now.
Yeah, I believe Dizzy was an org that was also an AML, and they kind of combined with this roster. I believe Kerrigan is filling in for their jungler because their jungler, I believe, ranked out prior to the draw show. Unfortunately, I believe it was Halls, I believe. But I think they're trying out junglers, but I think Kerrigan will be filling for.
Keep Kerrigan in there. That guy's a good bid later. Keep him in there.
He's play jungle though.
What if
exactly? He's perfect.
What if their former jungler promises to play with like 3 of his fingers taped together or something? Is there a way we can like artificially lower his rank?
Hey, rules are rules. I don't know what to
Dang.
tell you.
Yeah, I can really commend Halls for doing something that Sign Kit could never do, and that's actually rank out of AML and not Elo sit. I am proud of him. That's phenomenal.
Mhm.
They're in streamer group.
This next team going to Ionia and then Void Ionia.
Yeah, so we don't want this to be DDG. We don't want this.
Yeah, we need this to be like.
I already told you I rigged it. It's okay.
I hope it is rigged.
Shurima kind of evened itself out. It really is like, I feel like that could be anyone's group,
Mhm.
or at least 3 teams group.
All right, spin the wheel.
And no wheel. Not DG, not DDG.
That's DDG.
Oh
No, my rigging didn't
no.
work.
Can we just put this in Void for fun?
Benja, what do I pay you for?
DDG going into the Ionia group.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let Lester talk about his roster.
I don't know. Damn, this roster looks pretty damn good. Like, we have old P5 top laner, Noah top lane, Evil Lobster, Troy Brandyfan, the 2-time Titan championships. Like, it doesn't get much better than that. And then Mr. Kiwiism, everyone knows this guy. Best support in the league.
A Thresh player.
He's a crazy Thresh player, but
He
that's
is a
not
great
all he can
Thresh
play.
player.
I feel like I should take this opportunity since we have the coach right here. Is there any concern about the lack of games played, or are there alts going on? You know, what's with Brandy fan and never outmatched? Low game numbers.
We
We'll
don't need
Go
to
ahead.
play games to win.
I will say, I think DDG is not notorious, but they're scrim fiends. I think they scrim like a
We
lot.
scrim a lot.
Yeah, so I'm not. If solo queue is not there, I think they're definitely scrimming when they're not playing solo queue. Yeah, this is not the exact same roster that they had last split in Titan, but they are the Titan champions coming in. They've been playing in AML for a couple splits now. I think this split they actually have an ADL roster as well competing. So glad to have them back, and
Yeah,
we
maybe
will
they'll make it past first round this time.
maybe. I mean, I think they've made it to semis once.
One.
Yeah, you made it to semis. Is that where you guys the Garen backdoor game 5?
Oh, I think I remember
Yes,
that.
that was.
Yeah, that stream
just,
was nuts.
I just want to say, Drop Dead Gaming has lost to the AML championships basically twice. So I just want to say, if you beat us, you're winning.
Sounds good. All right, let's spin the wheel. Let's get AML wrapped up with a bow.
Please do not be Akuma. I want to give Akuma to our group. Thank goodness.
Okay, it's going to be Rubber Ducky Gaming in the Void group, and then Akuma will be into the Ionia group. But let's talk about Rubber Ducky Gaming first here. This is Drake's org, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
I think you're affiliated with them a little bit, right, Tom? If you want to speak a little bit on the roster.
I may or may not help out there. But yeah, I think these are 2 returning players, Jack Carter and David. We stole Cartana from a roster in Titan. Revan and Samuel, they're playing on a different roster. That's why they're subs, but they're just subbing in here. But the roster is like really high skilled, like solo lane players. They like work really well alone. So being able to work together, like in these recent scrims, they've been like popping off. So they're a really strong roster right now. But you know, it's a Void group, so it's a little bit of a group of death. So.
And it's, I believe, the mid laner, previous AML champion, right? Won Travelers, yeah.
Yeah.
Burger King. So definitely a strong roster going into the Void group here.
Yeah, Jack Carter's been grinding. Ton of games played, almost 300 games played.
He is a grinder.
Awesome, cool. And the last team, Akuma Pizza Cutters, going into the Ionia group here.
You get the blade saw instead of an actual pizza cutter, so.
Yeah, I don't know why they were going with that direction, but we've got
the only other team I saw with a 1 trick, but according to their OP, they hit challengers. So
I don't even know who's on the roster here. Let me take a quick look.
All the randoms on here fails.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's
Elo
Andy.
Sitter number 1 and Lonry.
Andy's the top laner.
yeah, Violet with 91.
Wait, Lonely's playing mid for this roster?
Yeah, that's Mexican mid right there.
Oh my god. Lonely mid. Okay, we're in for a treat.
We are very much so.
He has hit challenger with Tryndamere. He's a mid laner now.
It's very hard skill cap, but nonetheless, all returning players. I'm pretty sure every single player on this roster has played in Aegis several times. I've played in pretty much every single Masters League several times at this point. Former admin here is the mid laner. Maybe like 4 years ago, he used to be an admin. Lone Ranger, shout out to him on the roster, and they're slotted into the Ionia group.
Has it been 4 years?
We've been here for quite some time. Yeah, we started in 2021. That's when he was here.
Oh. Okay.
April 2021. I remember. Yeah, and that's the draw. Thoughts, guys?
I think
Void is definitely group of death.
Yeah, definitely Void is going to be tough, but I feel like we have a pretty decent balance in Shurima and Ionia.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay.
I don't know about that one. If I'm being honest, I think Void is unironically probably the easiest. Boomers of Azumers is not a good roster. Stasis Gaming's been like falling behind. AFK is a Vanquisher roster. RDG is arguably the weakest tier 1 roster, and High Alert Eclipse will probably run the group. I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's good call out. So format I can get into a little bit. It's all in the format doc, but essentially Ionia group is just going to round robin against themselves. Top 4 will make playoffs. The other groups will round robin for 5 weeks, 1 cross group match. And the top team in each group will qualify. The bottom team will be eliminated, and then the middle teams will play qualifiers to qualify for playoffs. And then there'll be 8 teams in playoffs. It's all displayed on the format doc on the front of the sheet if you guys want to take a look. But Dewan, he explains it pretty well with graphical images. So
Yes,
cool.
sir.
Take your screenshots. I want to say thank you, Lesser and Jack, for joining us. Any final words before you dip out of here and we get to ADL?
I'm excited to be able to cast all of these players, and I'm happy to see that there's a lot of people invested in this high league.
Yeah, definitely. Excited to have you on. Lester, any final thoughts?
Ionia is going to be a battle. And
Yeah.
DDG versus Akuma will end up being the final. I'll just go and let this be known. That will be the final as long as there's
sure, man.
not same side.
I don't know. I think Lane Zero is a sleeper here.
I think they are pretty good, but if they're in our group and we beat them, then they can't really face us again. It's a little tough.
That's fair. We'll see. Anyways, thank you, everybody. We're going to cut to a quick break, 5-minute break here, so I can just fill my water up. And we'll be back with ADL. Russia.
Yes, sir.
Cold rivers crossing
Hello, everybody. We are back for ADL. I think you had the wrong setup on the screen, Benja. This should be. This looks like AEL. But anyways, I'm joined by Lost, Tom, and Carito. Tom and Carito have been with me the entire time. If you want to say hello, Lost.
Hello, everyone.
Well, Lost playing for Flash Syndicate. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Cool. They're playing in ADL, so they're going to be joining us. Just give us a second for us to get this updated. If we need to cut to break, feel free to cut it to break, Benja. Okay, I'll take that as a cue that we don't need to go to break and that he has. Okay, we're gonna go to break. I guess got word. Give us 2 minutes, guys. We'll be back. Sorry to blue ball you.
Don't try to make yourself remember, darling. Don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer, 'cause when we're gone, everything goes on. You were staring at the window, and I said, I wanna take you to the sea. And when I'm better, we'll do everything. I gotta stop making promises I can't keep. But if I was gone tomorrow, won't the waves crash on? Is it selfish that I'm happy as we pass the setting sun? Someday I'll be overcast, but you won't have to cry, 'cause we'll do the grieving while I'm by your side. I said, don't try to make yourself remember, darling. Don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer, 'cause when we're gone, everything goes on. And I'm so scared of getting used to this. All the vines that keep you tethered in your room. Well, someday both of us are leaving here, but for now I'll just bring this sea to you. Will you meet me in the daylight like we did before? Then I felt you on my shoulder, and you weren't suffering anymore. You said, I'm sorry that you worried, but don't apologize. I told you to forget me, but you stayed by my side when I said, don't try to make yourself remember, darling. Don't look for me, I'm just a story you've been told. So let's pretend a little longer, and when we're gone, everything goes on. Tell me, where do I go? Tell me, where do I take us? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe.
Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Got a little miscommunication from my end, but nonetheless, we are back with the ADL setup. We have 4 groups, 2 of 6, and 2 of 5. Targon, Freljord, Isles, and Bilgewater. They're split up into conferences. Pretty straightforward. There's 5 tiers, four tiers, and 1 tier 0.5. Yeah, I mean, let's get started. Let's start with the tier 4.5 teams. One of each of these teams will be placed into Targon or Freljord. So if you want to pull that wheel up, Benja, go ahead and spin it away. First team is ASC Reborn. I believe there's Essentia Esports. Going into the Targon group. Definitely a newer org to Aegis. I'm not sure if they played in other leagues, but I know Raven Glitch. I've seen them around. Definitely one of the lower ranked teams that was not eligible for AEL that are playing up. So excited to see how they do in ADL here. But any thoughts, guys? Not sure if anybody is aware of any of the players.
I am not. No.
I'm not. They look pretty low rank. Their name seems like slightly familiar. Maybe they were in Metaship last week, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I've definitely seen them around. Definitely a roster that's been in the space. I think they've played in Aegis before, but excited to have them in ADL here and see. And then the other team is Northeastern University Black. They're going to be going into the Freljord group, one of our first collegiate teams here.
I believe they're a returning team as well.
Yeah, they've played in Aegis I think every winter they put 2 or 3 teams in across AEL and them, and then I think another org is blanking on the other collegiate team. But they have 2 teams in ADL. This team will be going into Freljord group here. I will say like I said, they have a sister team, and according to our sister team rule, they will not be in the same group. So when we come to that, we will talk about it. But we can start moving down the line here into our tier 4 teams. How it's pretty much going to go moving forward from here is we're going to draw a team, and they're just going to be put in each group across the board, starting with Targon, barring any sister teams. First team is...
Wow.
That looked like it was Pentaflex for me, I'm not going to lie, but it wasn't. Who wants to take a stab at pronouncing the team name here?
I got it.
Invictus Amethyst?
Oh, yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, but this is definitely some people we've seen around the space. DJ Zeller, Smacker, both of them just pop out to me. I love their logo. It reminds me of T5's logo a little bit from AML. A little different. You can see the EVX in it. But I believe this is their first split in ADL. Are you familiar with any of the players here, Lost? It's okay.
I'm pretty sure. Isn't this the Never Outmatch guy? Like, isn't he in DDG for the AML team?
Which guy? Sorry.
The Never Outmatch, the top laner.
Oh yeah, I think so.
And then I'm pretty sure the rest of this roster they played in Krypton last split. I don't think they won, but they were a pretty competitive team. I'm pretty sure, like top 4 maybe.
Oh yeah, I think I actually played against them. Now that you remind me.
Yeah. Smacker is someone that I kind of remember, but other than that, just remember them from Krypton.
Sounds good.
I'm only familiar with Texturance. I know he's a very analytical guy. He'll go in depth about any like league topic, so he's a smart guy on the roster.
Definitely. Awesome. Cool. We can go and spin the wheel here for the next team that will be going into the Freljord group. It will be Pentaflex, a newer org to Aegis, but some people we know, like Geyser, I believe, used to play in AEL a little bit ago. I believe they were on Looper for a little bit. Could be wrong.
They were?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm pretty confident they were, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
I'm like pretty sure he tried out for the top lane for Hooper or something this split too.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're a mid-diamond average team. Outflayed also rings a bell to me.
Outplayed is a Dorado player, I believe.
Yeah,
Is it? I remember him in Mint Gaming. That's the only one.
cool. Nonetheless, their first stint as an org here. I love the logo too. Into the ADL here at the Failure Group. Go ahead and spin the wheel here. Tilt DT1 going into the Isles group. Some familiar faces on this roster, if I remember correctly.
Civil.
Civil, Sunbear,
Albino. Yeah.
yep, Conklin, Delilah.
KTL.
I believe Jace was Clown Gaming's top laner.
Yeah.
From somewhere. They've also ranked up a little bit.
He
So
also
this-
played in Bloom Gaming last split in Titan for Vank.
For Vancouver, sure. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Rat Queen Delilah, as someone who plays with her, she is a monster. Absolutely monstrous jungler. Very, very, very good player.
Yeah, she's really good. But anyways, glad to have Tilt joining Aegis to split. They have a couple of teams across the league, so glad to have them. And then the last team here is True Minded Gaming Paladins, TMG Paladins here, going into the Bilgewater group. This is Metashift's team, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
But his sister team as well. Yes.
Yeah, they have a sister team as well. I believe Cone is on this roster, if I'm not wrong, or is he on
He's
the
the
other
top
roster?
laner.
He is the top laner, yeah.
That is Cone. Wow.
It's definitely a strong roster. Banana Bread took a break. I believe they got deployed, but they used to play in ADL AML like 2023 early 2023. But coming back here, joining TMG. I believe this is TMG's second split in Aegis. I think last split they were here for a brief period, but there's some complications and had to withdraw.
Oh yeah.
But nonetheless, glad to have them back and them joining the Bilgewater group. Cool. We can move to the tier 3 teams. There's 8 tier 3 teams. I will say there's one overlap here, which is Northeastern. Northeastern Red cannot be in the same Northeastern University Black, so we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But first team is Espa Diamond A. This is Maelstrom Esports, I believe, correct?
Mhm.
Yes. Vixis is org. Let's take a look at their roster here. I'm personally not familiar with any of their starters. I don't know if you guys are. I know some of their subs.
I feel like I've seen Kaithel somewhere.
Yeah, I feel like Kaithel has probably been in the scene a while because I recognize that name too.
And we have Sutek as well, yeah.
Yeah, Sutek. I believe this is their second split as an org. I know they are in the uncapped space. They have a pretty strong roster there, trying to play in OQs and whatnot. And they have rosters throughout, Masters, Diamond, and so on. So excited to have them in Aegis here, joining the ATL.
Mm-hmm. We love new faces.
Yeah. Cool. Whenever you're ready, Benjo, we can go to the wheel and spin away for the next team in failure group. I'll add the caveat: if it is Northeastern's team, they will need to. It's not.
Oh, it's this roster.
It's DDG Psycho's roster. Our friend Deadbotting here in the bot lane, Living Phoenix. This roster's strong on paper. I don't know how they're going to perform, but last split, Deadbotting was talking a lot of smack on stream, not on stream, in chat, and failed to make it to playoffs. But I was talking about this earlier a little bit with some of the staff. I think Deadbotting just having to worry about playing and not managing the roster like he does on his lit teams might be good for him. He tends to come in every week, 10 minutes after time, saying I need 2 E-subs. So hopefully DDG can handle the managing part of things and he can just show up and play.
If My only direct opinions about deadbotting is if he shows up again randomly in a RuneScape video I'm watching, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah, he's pretty popular on those parts of RuneScape. But you were gonna
didn't
say
know
something
that.
Lost? You were gonna say something, Lost? Or
No, I mean I played against Deadbotting and Living Phoenix multiple times now.
Mhm.
Those are like the only two names I recognize. The top laner looks
Yeah,
interesting.
questionably high. He was a conduit player.
Yeah, that guy looks interesting, but and so does their jungler. Just
awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. Cool. We can spin the wheel now. So the next team going into the Isles group. Luminari Gaming.
Got a variety of ranks on this roster.
Sorry?
You have a variety of ranks on this roster. You got a master player, plat player, emerald, diamond player.
Yeah, I think it's Smorgasbord coming together. I believe I know the jungler from somewhere.
Cover sounds familiar, yeah.
Yes, yeah. But newer org, newer team, 2 Aegis. I don't want to say they're newer org. They could be playing in other leagues. I like their logo, nice and simple. Kind of reminds me of the Golden Snitch a little bit. It's the LG a little off center.
Yeah.
It might
I
be.
say the same dang thing.
I didn't make the logo, okay?
It's off center. It's
But that's okay. We have them joining the Isles group here. Excited to see how they perform. Have you heard any of these players Lost? I imagine you
No,
haven't
no,
joined
I
them,
have
but
not. I have not seen any of these players.
excited to see how they perform.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. We can move into
Bilgewater.
Bilgewater. Yeah.
Oh. Good as.
Look at this.
Yay.
I'll just give the floor away to Lost here. I believe this is a returning roster, though. They played 2 splits ago, if I'm not wrong.
2 splits ago, yeah, different mid and top. 2 splits ago, last split it was just like we were kind of just for funning it. Bit different top mid. Balling was our top laner was our support or something. Our top laner, yeah, I don't know. We were just last split was for fun. The split before was like our first split in Diamond. But we were like all Emerald players. We're also playing in Titan. I think we're a decent roster. We're slightly adjusting to the new meta stuff, but I think by like playoffs will be fine.
I think like a middle pack, upper middle pack team.
Yeah, I mean like I'm pretty confident that like on a good day we can be like almost any team, but just depends really.
That's good.
Congrats on finally not playing in AEL anymore.
He played in ADL 2 splits ago.
Did he?
Yes, this exact roster.
I
Well,
thought he was a hard
this
spec emerald player.
this name team. Oh yeah, I've seen the little video of.
Oh no!
Man, if I was running production, I'd pull it up just for the geeks. But, anyways, we can go on to spinning the wheel here. There's 8 teams in this tier. This team will be going into the Targon group. We got Inspire. I will have an updated logo for this roster. They just didn't have a team name when they submitted it, but this looks like a strong roster.
Recognize 4 of them.
Yeah. I actually played with their jungler 3 splits ago, pretty close. So excited to see him come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, ADC, mid laner, quality player. I don't want to butcher the ADC's name.
Arcadius.
Arcadius, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Spire, awesome org, been around for 4 splits now. I believe their Emerald team is coming off of a BOL victory just now. If I'm not wrong, so definitely a solid org with solid players. They played in ADL last split. I believe they made playoffs. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they made playoffs.
I would check.
Yeah, they're back.
Yeah, I think all the players on the roster seem very good. Like the rank wise, I don't know, they're like tier 3 like us, but I would consider them like probably as strong as the tier 1 teams, even slightly stronger than some of them.
I will say, from point value from 32 to 37, there's 14 teams. So like 5 point spread, that's 14 teams. So it's like these teams are really close in quote unquote strength based off how we determine tiers. Obviously, they could have different strengths and weaknesses in game that we're not aware of, but it's a very, very closely ranked middle pack of ADL this split.
They did not make playoffs.
Different roster though, if I'm not.
Very different, yeah.
Yeah,
Completely.
I believe the jungler made finals of ADL last split. Phoenix there. He was on the XG roster.
Flame Horizon was the finalist.
Yeah, it was Flame Horizon, surely not. But he was on XG roster. I think
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was a
they
hairpin
lost first
jungle
round, but-
first.
They lost to the other XG team. They lost to Worm
Yeah.
Jones, right?
But
Anyway,
2 splits ago, he won Vanquisher, I think.
With XG. Yeah, with Phoenix. With not Phoenix, Improvise, right?
Yep.
Cool. Next roster is Dorado Gaming Beta. I don't really have to say much about the Dorado org, returning org to Aegis. Felt like they've been here every split we've ran. League.
Split breed and tough.
My homie Split Breed here. I think I played maybe 2 years with Split Breed when he was in Emerald. So excited to see him get on the team after he's ranked up a little bit. Tough Daddy also ranked out a little bit. Tough Daddy used to play in my focused leagues back then. And then we got Asen, Suf here in the sub lists. Strong roster. Thoughts, guys?
I agree.
Yeah.
It is a strong roster.
I think
Big
it's
loss.
pretty strong. I think Top Daddy's really good. I think Split Breed's really good. Everyone pretty good on that roster. I think Kibbles was on Iceborne last split, and they had a pretty good run. So
Yep. And yeah, pretty straightforward. Oswald's
Mhm.
been around since the TA days, so definitely been
Oh, TA.
FF. Anyways,
FF.
in classic Dorado fashion, we don't have their white logos yet because I haven't asked for them, and even if I asked for them, I don't think Dorado would have sent not Dorado Zol would have sent me them in time. So you can get the gist of where they are on this draw, but nonetheless, we can spin the wheel.
2 crowns. Or dogs, I think.
I'm not even gonna lie, I'm pretty happy with how the group draw is going on. Like I don't get DK on my side either. PMG DK and all the stronger tier 3 teams are gone, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. We have the other Northeastern roster here, Northeastern Red.
Mhm.
This is also, smorgasbord of ranks here, coming together to play. I believe they're going to
Yep.
be adding some subs here, but definitely higher ranked than their sister team here. Average rank at least.
Mhm.
I'm not too familiar with any of the players. I imagine you guys haven't scrimmed them lost at all.
No, yeah, definitely not. Like we don't scrum many college teams.
I know.
So
I think Watercat said it the best there. I think like 3 or 4 splits ago, we were like just in the draw show. We like wrote out the collegiate teams like, hey, they come, they play, but they never make it far. And then that split, the Northeastern University Red roster made to semis. So, it'll be exciting to see what actually happens.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then the last team going into Bilgewater here will be Sensei Squad. Yeah. If you guys want to chat, I'm just trying to fill in the group draw. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll let Lost go first if you want to comment.
no, I actually don't know almost anyone on this roster. I know Sensei Squad as like a org. They've had like some decent runs in like Titan before. Last split they had a Vanquisher team that was like decent, but none of these players are like the same. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure Voltic's been around for a while, right?
Voltic and Essence have been around for a bit. I believe Essence runs an org though.
Yes, I believe so.
But yeah, I mean, when I remember them in CCS, Dave used to be a bottom of the pack team. Every video that they put out every week says it's quite as always just the bottom of the group they're in. So maybe they'll.
I will say, something. Based off peak ranks, they have 32 points, and then like the third highest team is 37 points. So it's like very close. It's just like 1 or 2 tiers off across every player. It's yeah.
I
This is
mean,
really,
it looks like they would be kind of like high tier if their top laner was an Emerald 3, right? Like,
yeah,
that probably lowers the points a lot.
definitely lowers it a little bit. But nonetheless, that is all the tier 3 teams. While we get the tier 2 teams set up, thoughts on how this is shaken out? I know you mentioned, Lost, that you like how this is going for your team because you can't get TMG's other team because sister teams. So you're probably getting one of the other 3 tier 1s, definitely, and then one of these tier 2s.
Yeah. I think from the tier 3 teams, the ones that looked like kind of scary to me were the Spire one and the Dorado one. The other ones looked okay, but they didn't look that great. So neither of them are in my group, so it's fine. For
Awesome.
tier 1, yeah, I think
They're
they're
all
like
strong.
all okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But nonetheless, we can go ahead and pull up the tier 2 wheel, Benjo, whenever you're ready, and spin away. The tier going into the Targon group is High Alert Nightmares, Newer Org Aegis, like I mentioned during the AML draw, out of Newer Org. I believe they just changed their top laner. It is updated here. We have Nuffies returning to ADL here, the top lane, or High Alert Nightmares. I love the logo as well. This is I like some of these players on this roster. That's all I'm gonna say. Sleepers.
Mamer Sticks and AFK Boulder are some familiar names.
Yep.
Been around.
For me, Nuffies, Less Force, and Dira are like semi-familiar. I was trying to get Less Force on an Emerald team for Syndicate this split, but yeah, I think he's already like D2.
Yeah. Less Force, I know from low budget LCS. I plan to play every split possible now in low budget LCS. I love playing there, especially with some IRL friends where we can all be, different ranks. So this is org that I met over there. Owner's really nice. The whole community is really nice. So excited to have some of their players come over and play in Aegis.
Yeah, looks like a good team.
Awesome.
Shout out to their sub Boulder.
Sub Boulder. And Memers, my Akuma Shuriken support when I was playing on Akuma in one of these leagues, I don't remember. But nonetheless, we can go ahead and spin the wheel for the next team in Failure. Iceborn ready.
Carrot. Holy carrot. He's in
Holy Carrot's org. Yeah, I don't think he's eligible to play. But I'm pretty sure their mid laner is playing in AML. Let me double check.
Yeah, he's playing in the BCS roster.
Yeah, he's on the Bing Chillers roster. Yeah. I mean, their bot lane's the same as last split.
Every split almost.
Yeah, I think Watercat also just pointed out to me that their mid laner was the top laner of Surely Not last split, so definitely returning player into ADL. Just roll swapping to different solo lanes. POs and then Big Boss Moo. Just people we all know. They've been around, yeah. Solid, strong roster. Definitely a contender. I would consider this for sure a playoff roster.
Yeah, I agree.
And we just jinxed it.
I don't write the script. Watercat does. That's all I'm saying. If you want your team to go far in ADL, just message Watercat. Anyways, we can go ahead and spin the wheel.
Have a little bit of cash ready. And oh my god, Final Boss. Wait, what? No, that's not on Final Boss. Gaming.
No, this is good.
That's just clearly on. Oh my god.
Oh boy. Hi, Rubber Ducky Gaming.
It's Rubber Ducky Gaming again.
Yeah, this is Jesse. I believe Jesse's an admin over at Titan. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse played a little bit in Aegis at one point as well.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, this is a solid roster as well.
Quiet is Sir Jackson. I believe he's been around for a while.
Sir Jackson used to play on Dynasty, I believe.
Dynasty.
Before Dynasty, I might have been CB that he was
CB,
playing
yeah,
on.
right. That's
He
correct.
played in like he played in APL or like AL when I played. It was like the Rose team or something like that. Scarlet, I don't remember, something like that.
Mhm.
I also remember that, but I
Yeah,
think
no,
this
yeah.
team's really good.
Yeah.
I think Jesse is a really good too. The top laner.
I know. If I remember, he's a big Asante player when he came out. I don't know if he still
He
is,
is.
but
He's a
He
huge
is-
Kasante player.
I think he plays like all the new top laners. I swear he's been playing on Besta too.
Bessa, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did say he probably shouldn't have been let in, but no, cool. It's fine. A lot of cats typing in Twitch.
And they are a solid roster. Knight's one of solo queue warriors. One of very
Yeah.
few solo queue warrior.
But nonetheless, the last team going into Bilgewater here will be Final Boss Predators. Final Boss is a newer org in general, I believe. I believe they had one team playing a BOL last split, and then now they've kind of have a couple teams. We have a AEL team from them as well. I believe this is Ishan's org, if I'm not wrong, or he's management in the org, one of the two.
Yeah, it was Ishan.
Yeah. I believe we know the ADC.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who it is.
I don't know.
Water cat said it's
Scub. Yeah, it's Scub. He changes his Discord all the time. That's why his actual Discord ID. Yeah, but we definitely know who he is. He hangs out in that. That's that SDC server. That's where a lot of these. Yeah, a lot of these guys are.
Water cat did say a lot of these players are from STC. I think.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe their coach as well is from SDC. Hierarchs. Sorry if I scuffed that. I don't even know if they're the coach, but I'm assuming they are. But nonetheless, they're in your group. How do you feel about that, Lost?
I feel pretty good. I don't know many of them, so that's probably why. But
I guess in comparison to the other three, you were.
I mean, I was from this actually. I was more. I thought the RDG roster was really good because I have played them. I know it's Scrum Bucks,
Yeah.
but I thought they were pretty good. Iceborne, I think they're good, but I haven't played this version of the roster. And then High Alert, I'm not 100% sure on most the mid and the AD. Nuffy's going back to top is also interesting. But yeah. So but RDG was like the roster that kind of stood out to me the most, just because I had a bit more experience with them. So
Yes,
other
sir.
than that, I'm pretty happy.
Awesome. Cool. We can pull up the tier 1 teams and
Last four.
last four get to spinning. I will just mention here, there's a True-Minded Gaming roster on this tier 1 wheel that cannot be going into Bilgewater. So if they are one of the two teams left, they will automatically go into Isles. Okay.
Akuma.
First roster, Akuma Scimitars. I believe they played last split. I don't know if it's under the same name, but definitely a different roster.
Mm-hmm. I believe Marzia played on an Elysium roster with Flame and made it to finals.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Cray Dog, we know.
Mm-hmm.
I think they split even across the other Akuma teams, not in AML, but in other leagues and in Vanquisher and Conk and AEL. They've got some people that have been around for a while and then some new names, like a nice mix of newer talent coming in. So I'd definitely like to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely love the Akuma guys, love the org, love the homies. So excited to have them back.
I think 3 of the 5 players are returning from their BL final runs, BL Diamond. I'm pretty sure. The jungle, the mid, and the support. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I
sure we're
believe so.
on that team.
I believe so as well. Who was the ADC? I think Matt G was their ADC, right?
No. It wasn't Akuma. It was they played against Akuma in finals. I think they lost against Akuma, but their ADC might have been FISP 10 or something.
Oh, okay. That's FISP 10 is from Cape Dogs. That's where I remember that name from. Anyways,
I could be wrong, but
We
But yeah, that's
can-
what I remember that from.
Spin the wheel here. Weak side jungle victims.
I love the logo.
This is Source Walker, Rover, and yeah, this is a strong roster.
Mm-hmm. I think.
What?
I think I only recognize Source Walker and Midnight. But
I think Rover played on XG last split.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I think
Yeah.
they're okay. They're playing in Risen and they're playing in Vanquisher under Omega, but not under Omega here for obvious reasons. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they've been around. They've been playing together for a while. At least some of the subs like Midnight, Wasp, and Source Walker, they've been playing together for a long time.
Interesting.
No, their mid is very good at Vel'Koz.
Oh yeah.
Sir? I don't have any other comments.
Yeah, we can move on to the wheel. I mean, I guess we'll just spin the wheel one last time here, but we know where they're going, regardless of where this goes. So, oh, looks like there's no rigging happening. TMG is going to be going to the IELTS group like they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm. Night Raven, Smitsky.
Yeah, this is a strong roster.
Yeah.
Are you glad you don't have to play against them?
I mean, ended up like I literally played against them last week. Went to 3 games, but I mean they were close enough. Like I think our team just threw like too many leads over objectives, but I mean I think it's pretty close. I think Night Ravens is really good. Like I kind of like fucking carried game 3 solo. Like I feel like, but he's very good. Yeah, I think the jungler's pretty good too. Yeah, I mean all the players I think are pretty good. It's just the one other team that I thought in tier 1 that was like probably like not thought, but like I'm kind of confident is better than them. It was XG, so they're gonna be in our group. So
Yeah, we'll talk about them in a moment here, but I believe Watercat shouted out that I was going to say it as well. There are multiple members returning from the Optimal Esports Midnight roster that played in ADL 2 splits ago, I believe. So, excited to have them back under the TMG banner. And then the last team, my third favorite logo, and I think they might be stealing a little bit of King Coney's thunder here, but I'll let them have it. We've got XG Worms going into the Village Order group here, and yep, there you go. I'm just gonna read the Discord so people can know. Maybe Worm Jones obviously is in the jungle. We have Cole in the mid lane. Steve, I can't remember his name before he name changed their support. Steven Billums.
I'll find out.
he was a Dorado player in the past. I think he played mid.
Not Lima.
Not Lima, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Dog Dookie at one point. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Watercat, for the insight. But yeah, solid, strong roster. Worm Jones's XG roster. I don't know if it's the same as it was last split, but they made it to semis, I believe. They're the ones that knocked out the other XG roster last ADL split. Unless my lore is wrong, but
I'm pretty sure it's 4 returning players. Just support's different.
Yeah. And then they have that sub there, Sleeper, but that is improvised. So don't know if he'll be playing or not, but he's there. Case.
Excited to see how Worm Jones and Worm Jones work together.
Yeah. And how they can support Worm Jones, excuse me.
Yeah, solid players.
Cool.
All right.
That is the ADL draw show. Thoughts of how these groups shaped out? I think Death is
Probably.
Argon.
I was gonna say Isles.
Really,
That's
I think the closest group is Freljord. Like strength wise, I think like the 4 teams Like I
agree.
think any of them could probably go first. I don't know like as much about DDG, but like from the fourth, like at least the top three, like any of them might be first.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Cool.
think the Northeastern and the Illuminati gaming teams might struggle a little bit in IOs.
Yeah. I think Tilt. You know that like a lot of the players are just newer into Diamond, right? Like pretty much everyone's moving up except for Jace, who has only one split.
Mhm.
But I think they got a pretty good group because I think they can definitely beat most of the teams there.
Mhm.
Probably versus the top two, it's harder, but the other two they should like probably win or be really competitive.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a huge difference between one group and the rest. I think all teams are evenly spread out. So it'll be a battle. That I'm saying.
I agree.
But nonetheless, take your screenshots. Thank you for joining us, Lost. Any last words before you dip out and we move on to AEL?
No last words. Thank you.
Appreciate
It was fun
appreciate you
having
coming.
me. Alright.
We will cut to a quick break here, and we'll be back for AEL here in about 5-7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
everybody. We are back with the Last League AEL here. I'm joined with KTL and Lost. Lost is coming back, as well as Tom and Credo. I don't know if you guys want to say hi, KTL and Lost.
Hello.
Hello again.
Awesome. So quickly, I don't know if any of the AEL people watched AML draw, but how it will work is there are sister teams. Sister teams cannot be in the same group. There's also this conference system here because we have a weird number of teams and 3 groups of 6. We don't really like it too much, so we're trying a little something. We're cooking a little bit, but nonetheless, how it will work is there will be one tier point 4.5, which will be 2 teams. Those 2 teams will be put into the Enforcer group and the Cambaran group. After that, every tier will have 4 teams, and as they draw, it would go Enforcer, Conqueror, Cambaran, and Conqueror. It'll go 1, 3, 2, 3. So each tier will have 2 teams, Conqueror and 1 team, and Enforcer and Cambaran to balance it out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then as sister team stuff comes up, we'll call it on the fly and move them around if we need to. But cool, we can get started here if you want to pull up the 2 4.5 teams. Baron Besties and Shadow Garden Esports. Let's see which team is going into the Enforcer group first. Shadow Garden Esports. We'll preface that this is a newer org. A lot of these orgs are actually newer this split to AEL, so excited to have them compete. Are you guys familiar with any of these players? I imagine not, but
No. That
No.
definitely seem a lot newer, or like at least more.
So we have some teams that applied for APL, but due to the lack of interest for APL, they decided to punch up and play in AEL. Yeah, I know some of the teams replaced some players. I think some of the players on this team were replaced to bring in some Emerald 3, Emerald 2 players. So they're definitely going to be punching above the belt a little bit, but definitely will be able to get some experience in some of these higher leagues under their belt.
Respectable.
Cool. You can go ahead and draw. We don't have to actually draw it. It's the Baron Besties. I like this logo a little bit. I was told yesterday that it might be a little bit of a double meaning with the B and then the bow and then the other B, but who knows?
Oh,
I missed that. I didn't think of it, but now that I pointed it out, everybody's probably going to think it. But
We're all very mature here.
That's so
yeah.
good.
We're very mature.
Of course.
this was also a APL team that moved up, but I believe they replaced their mid laner with a D4 player or D4 peaker. Yes, that's correct. Have you guys any idea about this roster? I imagine you haven't scrimmed or played against them, but
I actually know slight, because I was coaching a platinum team and they scrimmed against them. I don't think they had the mid laner though, but I definitely remember the ADC we thought was gonna be like really bad because he was like silver, but he was like their best player.
Yeah, he was bronze, silver the last two splits, but he has 300 games to split, and he's climbed up out of them. So
Yeah.
this split?
definitely this split 300 games.
Yeah,
Oh my
you had a lot of games to split. Yeah.
Holy, that's respectable. Good for them.
He was decent. He was pretty good.
Game today.
Definitely better than his rank.
That is a lot of games. I have 10 total.
But that's our tier 4.5 teams. No overlaps yet. We can pull out our tier 4 teams.
No.
Conduit, Phoenix, Galaxy, Gaming, Milky Way, Jolly, Rogers, Kraken, Skulls, and All in Anguish. First team going into the Enforcer group is All in Anguish. I know one of these players personally, but are you guys familiar with any of these players?
Yeah, they used to play in another league that no longer exists, and they were pretty good in like a plat level. So interested to see how they do in Emerald.
Yep.
I think I
actually
Kitsune.
their support actually played in the first league I ever ran in 2017. Let's put that in perspective. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
So I've known him for quite some time. Good old Kiwi #slap. Anyways, excited to have them play this split in AEL. This is another one of those teams that were in APL that moved up. I think that was the last of the 3. And then the rest are teams that applied for a EL. That is the Kiwi Slap, Ahab. You remember him. That is the Kiwi Slap himself. Anyways, we can move up and move on to the next team. This is going to go into the Conqueror group. Galaxy Gaming Milky Way. I don't believe this is a newer org. I think I've seen them around.
I think Galaxy Gaming has been around, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely know their jungler. The name rings a bell. Have you guys seen them around anywhere by chance?
The name rings a bell. The bald eagle guy, but I don't know from where.
I don't.
Okay,
Nothing's recognizable for me.
The bald eagle guy, was he not on that? Wasn't he that? Okay, I'm like, you might have forgotten this, but the jungler and the mid laner were like on the team that got rulebooked in LAS during playoffs.
Oh, you're right. I think they were.
But the support I know because he's playing in one of the syndicate teams for Slash All. I don't think, but other than that, I do not know the rest.
Awesome. This is their first split in Aegis. But I know their owner for quite some time. But yeah, I throw him back. Go ahead and spin the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
This next team will be going into the Chembaron group. Conduit Phoenix.
We love Conduit around here.
We love Conduit around here.
OTF.
All these guys are familiar.
OTF Nation chat. Yeah, I think they've been playing together. Awesome roster. I believe the sub is Envier as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely people that I've been playing against, and I also played alongside some of these players for quite some time. Love them. Love the Conduit org. Glad to have them back here. Anybody have any thoughts?
OTF's really good. That's my comment.
I think this team, OTF told me it was like a friends team. I think Kupo OTF are really good. I know Chai and Nation are like really good in the plat scene, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully they do well. I think they've had pretty good results in scrims from what I've seen, so I think they'll be like a pretty good team.
Awesome. And then the last team from Tier 4 will be going into the Conqueror group is Jolly Rogers Kraken Skulls. Jolly Rogers is not a newer org. They've been around for a little bit. I believe this is Rex's org. I think when when TD like went on a break or something, I don't really know. He started his own org. I believe this is this. Anybody familiar with any of the players?
Nope.
I think I know Tim Tuff from somewhere.
Unfortunately not.
I'm a big Primus fan.
Oh yeah, okay. Primus used to play for Omega back in the day too. The sub.
Primus has subbed for. I've ran 4 or 5 teams. Primus has subbed on probably 3 of them. I love that guy.
Yeah, awesome team.
I think it is something to note that their jungler is like probably the lowest ranked player in the whole thing.
Yeah, it definitely seems like more of a friend team playing together.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, glad to have them here. Cool. We can move on to the Tier 3 teams. I will add the preface here that Conduit has a sister team in Tier 3, Conduit Gremlins, so they cannot be placed in Chembaron. So we will figure that out as we cross there. But the first team going into Enforcer group will be Monkeys Mania.
Ooh, I love Monkeys teams.
Yeah, I believe this is Chinese Spy. Yeah, Chinese Spy, Allfire,
Fairlandsy.
Yep.
Yeah, it's an interesting team for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think it's a mix of players that are moving up from the E4 cap leagues, and then some players that have been playing in D4 leagues combined. But yeah, excited to see them come back. Chinese Spy played in Aegis quite a bit when we were running APL. So
I know Cora's playing in BOL Premier as well.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, I think Fairmancy is also, and he also played in just regular straight BOL Emerald last split.
Awesome.
There.
It's like almost a combo of Faceless. the jungle on the top, I think we're both on faceless before.
Oh, I think so too. You're right. Faceless. Yes. Last split they were under faceless. Yep. I believe faceless is playing in Titan this split.
I think so.
But yeah. Well, we can move along and spin the wheel here. If I'm not wrong, we have 3 teams still.
It's sorry, me close. Okay, Conduit.
Okay, Conduit's going to be
That
going
makes
into
it
the
easier.
Enforcer, Conqueror group. Yeah.
Mhm.
This is a returning roster. I believe they played last split. I don't know if it's the exact same roster. Actually, I'm going to quickly check if you guys want to.
I think
different AD.
Yes, I think it was different ID because they had what was it? Not so dark, right? Lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this time they have May playing AD, and then it's Isama played in BOL and was like one of the best top laners in BOL Emerald last split, so he's really good. And then Panay's really good too, so this is a pretty good roster to be honest.
Yep. I believe Yolo Swag played ADC for them last split. He's playing mid this time, and then their mid laner is on the sub. There's a sub here, so and same support.
Yeah, Vidyarthi's good.
Yeah. Cool. We can go ahead and spin the wheel. Next team will be going into Cambaron. Grotto Gaming Omega.
Shout out Zol.
Rado team. I recognize their bot lane, Gabriel, and Art.
I believe this roster's playing internal, right?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, this team is interesting because it's like Gabriel came from what APL, right? Playing in plat leagues. 2-5 is really good. Khal's a character. I'm gonna leave it at that. Just off of when I did tryouts with him. He's a character, but the rest of them I think are all really solid. So
Yeah, I've heard good things about Oru too. I think Kale's early game is really good, solid. Like, I think Gabriel Leo has been in Aegis for a bit now, right? Even in the Emerald Leagues he's played. I think he was in one of the Drawer teams last split.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and I think Griffin's returning to Drawer, but that guy's also pretty good.
It's a solid roster.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that is the Omega roster. There'll be another Dorado roster. You still won't be able to tell who is who because, yeah. But it's on the sheet. So, nonetheless, we have the last tier 3 team, ID Supernova, coming into the Conqueror team here. Let's take a look at the roster. Justifies. I remember him playing quite a bit a while ago. Rudy as well.
Yeah, they brought back Miles and Rudy were on that ID team that was like in first place of AEL last split, and then they lost in like first round.
I think same top, right?
I think yeah, it sounds I think it sounds familiar. But then they replaced because they had PPB and Zed, so they just have a different jungle mid.
Yeah,
I think their ADC is really good.
He's really good. He's one of the best ADs in the league for sure.
Yeah, definitely. He not this roster, but this named roster won AEL 2 splits ago, when it was Shady Gecko still playing for them.
Wow.
But
good.
Yeah. ID, love them. Awesome work. Cool. We have them in the Conqueror group. We can move along to the tier 2 teams. We do have some overlaps, and I'll mention it if it comes up, but okay. First team in the Enforcer group is XSV Gluttony. I believe this is a new org this split. I believe this is Shane and Joby, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their org.
Thoughts on any of the players? I know the top laner.
I know discrepancy was we tried him out for one of our teams and that we were going to play an Eternal with, and he's very hot and cold. Like he'll have like one series he just does absolutely nothing, and then the next series he looks really good. So it's pretty like it's difficult to get a read on him, to be honest. But it's an interesting list of players. I don't know very many of them outside of discrepancy, but I do know him.
I think the yellows looked pretty high out there mid. I know that they were like I think a similar roster was gonna play in like LXC or something like that with XPKP mid. Or I think it was like legit the same roster, but just XPKP mid. But I don't see him here. And I think they got removed from that league anyways for some reason. I don't know. I think their support was in the BCS roster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the roster looks pretty good. The Mellow Devils guy, I think will be interesting because when I looked at his OP before, he looked like a mid laner. He looked like a pretty decent mid laner, so maybe you'll see something shift. But yeah.
All right.
We can go ahead and spin the wheel. Sorry, my voice is going out. That's why I'm less talkative.
Okay.
All right.
We got you. Wait
All
a
right, Log.
second.
Syndicate.
Hey, this
Or
like this pointer isn't even correct. But I mean,
Dorado
I
got
can talk about
scammed.
it. I mean, you know, this is Doritos. No worries. Pretty much the same thing, right? I can talk
You're
about
right.
it because I helped make the roster for syndicates this split. We have like Chili Crab who's returning. He won AEL last split, and then you have Hybrid Curry who was in the finals against him. And then EXE was in like the IOTA version in Conqueror. I think the IOTA version here had Justin. Then we have Canela and Melons. I think everyone in the roster is very good. Yeah, I think look out for the mid laner. I think he's very good.
Yeah.
He's not as well known compared to the rest.
Yeah, he's really good. This roster is doing very well in Titan as well. So
Yeah.
it's a very good team for sure. Definitely a lot of eyes should be on this team.
Awesome.
I believe it's an Epsilon player as well for Dorado.
Mm-hmm.
They're going into the Conqueror group here. If you want to show that. And I believe there's another Dorado team on this wheel, which means the teams are kind of already decided, but we can spin the wheel and I'll let you know where they go. Because Dorado Epsilon cannot go in Cambaran.
So they have to go and conquer it.
Correct.
Wait, why did we have to go in Conk?
Well, that's the order we're going.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, that makes sense.
Come on, Lost. Keep up.
Well, actually, Cambaran is going to be getting Shattered Spire here. I believe this is part of the roster that won BOL last split, if I'm not wrong.
I think it's the same exact roster.
Yeah. They're a strong roster. Definitely been playing together. I know Boostus and Matt, their jungler, have been playing together for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
Love the guys. I think they're playing in BOL Premier as well. I don't know if it's the same roster there, but definitely solid, strong players.
I think it's
Ben Fiddlesticks against this team. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. As Spuds pointed out, they are the BOL champions, and they got first rounded in Eternal the same week. So it was an interesting week for them.
Yeah, that is actually.
It's at least the majority of the BOL Premier team.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head.
Cool. And then that'll put Epsilon going into Conqueror here.
Very good team. Follow the goat. This is a really good team.
Yeah, this is part of the BCS Project R roster, top jungle.
Yep.
And then the bot lane, if I remember correctly, from Epsilon last split. And the Saruman coming back. Saruman used to play when we were running LHG back in the day. That was good times, but solid, strong roster. Have you guys played against them at all? I don't know if they're actually scrimming or not, but
Yeah,
I'm kind of interested to see how
they've been playing a lot.
Saruman's been doing.
Yeah, they've been streaming a lot from what I can tell, and they're pretty good. Don't give Pola Jinx, and then I think it's a more close match, but they're still a really good team.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then there were 4.
Woo!
Last 4.
Last 4. So this has 2 tier 1 teams and then 1 overlap with Syndicate, so we'll figure that out as we go. Final boss Whooper. Hold on, let me do some math here. I don't actually think. Yeah, I don't actually. You guys can talk. I'm trying to figure out if they're allowed to go in Force or not.
Yeah,
Hater
so-
of this team.
Yeah, this team is really good. It has some good names to it. Jerry, who's an ADC main, but plays like every role. He's really good.
Mhm.
Deshaun's good. So it's a pretty good roster.
I believe like most of them are stuck together, like Melly, Ishan, and Persia on the team. They've all been like staples.
Geyser. And, they have Geyser as well. I
Mhm.
think Caxie's newer there. But,
Caxie's newer, yeah.
Yeah, but the rest, and then they brought in Cocoa Puffs as their jungler because Chris left their team. So it's
Mhm.
it's a pretty good roster.
Yeah, he ranked that, I believe.
Hate
I'm not-
Caxi.
No,
That guy
not yet.
sucks.
Not yet.
He did
I
not
think,
rank out. He's on another
Not
team.
yet.
Okay.
I think I mean all Gucci won top like two splits ago, right? Playing
Yeah, I think so.
AL, right?
Yeah.
So he was the top laner for that ID Honeyford team, pretty much. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
and then I think Cocoa Puffs made finals in BOL Emerald in the TFF
Yep.
team.
Yep.
So like I mean they have experience. It'll be interesting to see how everything fits. But I definitely think they have good enough players to make a deep run.
Mm-hmm. I believe Eddie Chef was the original top laner, but he's like a diamond player now.
Might need some help here with my head.
They can go and enforce. I'm pretty sure.
They can, you said?
Yeah.
Well, they
cannot?
can't because Syndicate, Cool Ranch, the other Syndicate roster cannot go in Conquer, and then both Tilt rosters will go into Conquer. So I think Whooper has to go into Conquer.
Never mind.
Yep. So they'll be going into Conquer.
Yeah, it's our fault lost.
Yeah.
But it would go to the next group. So the next group that they were supposed to go into is Conquer, right? Because we go 1 through and 2.
Yeah.
So Conquer. I'll wait for him to update that. Sorry, I was talking to the producer. I know you guys can't hear producer on stream, but yeah, okay. My brain was this was a previous Omega roster here that Ishan started his own work, so they took the Whooper away from me. But just make sure Wednesdays you spam the
Whooper
GIF, you know.
Yeah.
Whooper Wednesdays. Love the guys, love the players. And yeah, excited to have them in AEL this split. We can go ahead and spin the wheel. And now this team will go into Enforcer.
Nice.
So, crash outs.
That's my team.
Awesome. We'll let you speak about it.
Yeah, so this team, I have people that I played with in, like, I'm playing with Jake and Spuds in Eternal right now, and then I've played with Terps and Chris on last time in AEL. So it's just a lot of people that I've enjoyed playing with before, so that's what the roster is built around. And then we have a good list of subs as well. So I'm very happy with the team. Oh, and then I'm transitioning to mid, so it's been something, but it's been fun.
That's nice.
I think it's a very solid roster. I know they had like some recent roster changes, but I mean, I think it does help the team out, like on the overall side of things. Chris is also a newer addition, and yeah, it's definitely cool.
Awesome. Well, we can go ahead and spin the wheel. Might have to get a better transparent logo version for you from you, KTL, but I don't know if you like the scuffed version since it's on Paint anyways.
No, that's fine. I'll get Colin to do it.
Cool. And that perfect. Tilts the PF Chang's roster will be going into Conquer, and everything lines up perfectly here.
This is one of the teams I've ever seen.
This is one of the teams.
Espada, Thunder McBusters, Measurable, and Coda support.
Coda played support 2 splits ago, right? Or last split?
He's also playing support right now in so he's playing in Conqueror with Measurable. So like 3/5 of this team is a Conqueror team because they also have Jacob and Tread who are their subs that are on the Conqueror team. But they're doing Thunder for mid lane, and then they're using a new jungler who I haven't even met yet because this team just got formed like last week, I think. So it's a very interesting roster. Obviously, Spada's very good at top lane. He can play, the tanks, play the carries, whatever. And then it's always just like I think this roster will always just come down to Measurable, to be honest. But I guess we'll see how he performs because he's very hit or miss with how he plays. But that's why I think having Codis down there as support to kind of ring him in will be really good.
I'm pretty sure I took this guy's LP and ranked so a little less, but so.
Yeah, AHOP is true. Espada does get countered by Gen Chat. You're not wrong. We've had lots of HR lessons with him.
No, he knows that he's been warned. I'll just leave it at that. There is no second warning. I'll just say it at that.
Shout out to my number one fan.
We don't have to spin the last wheel, but this is the other Syndicate roster, right? Syndicate John Fan Club going into I can't blank on the Chem Baron group. Yeah.
This is another Syndicate roster. We're just taking the name from like the last 3 splits pretty much. We had the same name in ADL, but it's only Sean returning. I think the roster's really solid, all high level players. It's just having like making sure the picks gel together and stuff like that. I think that's gonna like determine how well this team does. But other than that, I'm like, this team's pretty strong on paper and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, big fan of Sean. I think Sean's really good mid. Soul Mason's really good. I mean, he was like a front runner for MVP in Conk all year last year. #1 rated AD. A-Hop's a really good support. Cali was also really good. So it's just a very good, like Law said, on paper it's a really good roster. Now it's about how they gel.
Awesome. Cool. We can pull up the total group draw so we can kind of see groups of deaths and so on.
I mean, I think the Conquer group was going to be like strong no matter what because it has 8 teams, right? But I think Cambern is a lot stronger than Enforcer. I think Tilt is really good, and the rest of the teams are like kind of hard to tell. While Cambern, there's like 4 decent teams. I think. I think all of those teams are pretty decent.
I definitely think if I had to compare Enforcer and Cambern is much stronger, right? You have like 4, maybe even 5 pretty good teams there. There's a lot of unknown in the Enforcer group from like All or that Shadow Garden, I think it says. So, and then obviously Conqueror is just a really strong group. I think there's 6 teams there that can make it out. How does it work, Ivar, with like the groups?
So it'll be 4 from Conqueror group.
Yep.
And then Enforcer and Cambaran will play 6 weeks against their 4, and then 1 cross group. And the top seed from each Enforcer and Cambaran will clinch playoffs, and the bottom seed will be eliminated. And then the remaining 4 teams will play qualifiers for the last 2 spots.
Makes sense.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you everybody for joining. About 3 hours long. Sorry about that. But the captain meetings add 45 minutes. We try to get through it as fast as possible. But we are excited for another split of Aegis here. As we mentioned at the start, there are new awards. I don't know if people saw them, but we have actual physical prizing awards for the MVPs of each splits. I don't know if you're able to flash that, Benjo, or if it's out of the flow show. But this is our AML MVP award. Then we have our ADL MVP award. If he's able to switch to it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna gun for that AEL award. It looks cool.
You like every one of our things.
I'm starting it now. I'm starting the publicity stunt.
How does this exactly work? Does the MVP get to pick from one of these, or
no? What we're looking at right now is AEL MVP. So whoever is finals MVP of AEL gets all of this.
All of them. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm saying,
I thought it might have been like spread out through like the other awards, like like first team or something.
This is strictly for finals MVP. It's something we're trying out new this split, and then thanks to our sponsor, ASM Market really hooked it up with some awesome prizes. I know in FGC last split we had a GameCube as one of the prizes with some games. Where since League of Legends is across multiple games, we kind of spread the funds a little bit. But I think for ACL it's a little bit higher of a thing. But if the sponsorship continues to go good, we will have more and more of these physical prizes.
Yeah, looks
cool.
Really cool. Yeah.
With that said, thank you for joining me, KTL Lost, Tom, Credo, Benjo Production. I'm Ivar. We will catch you guys later. ADL games, AML games, AAL games start this week. We will have the schedule out latest tomorrow. hopefully tonight, but probably tomorrow, and rolls as well tomorrow. And yeah, thanks.
All right.
Take care.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Now listen, fellow warriors, I ask you, should my campaign come to an end? As